Well, we've been up to something kind of fun.
We sure have.
As a matter of fact, it was a lot of fun. We went back out to Ely.
Yes.
Now, we were just out there watching the hydro test and everything on 81, and we rode 40 thinking that those would probably be our last rides on number 40, but they had a big party for the actual last honest-to-goodness run of number 40, and they were going to have all 3 steam engines fired up. So guess what we did? We went there.
We jumped in the car and away we went.
Away we went. So check this out. This is really neat. Wow, look at these 2 great steam locomotives.
Oh man, that's just beautiful.
Isn't that the neatest thing? For Nevada Northern number 40's big send-off party, they're going to be rebuilding the boiler. They wanted to have all 3 steam engines fired up.
Isn't that fun?
Isn't that neat? So, of course, this is 93 and 40, the 3rd engine being 81.
Neat.
And that's the one that they are currently restoring, and they've just now got it together enough that they can fire up the boiler. It still can't drive around under its own power, but it has its tender on.
Right.
And most importantly, it has its whistle on.
Yes, it sure does.
And it was all dressed up and ready for the party. Now, on Saturday, they were going to run 93 and 40 as a double hitter.
Well, that's always fun to see a double hitter.
And all the way up to Keystone, we decided not to ride the train because you can see so much better if you chase the train.
It's a lot of fun to chase a double hitter.
I'll tell you what, because sitting on the car, you're going to see the car. Chasing this, you're going to see the double hitter.
Exactly.
Now, this weekend will be the final firing of number 40.
Wow.
The big send-off party, because starting on Monday, they're going to start dismantling 40 for its 15-year boiler inspection.
Which is sad in a little sort of sentimental way.
In a very sentimental way. So they had this big send-off party to say goodbye to 40 for 2 years while it undergoes a lot of rebuilding.
Right.
Now that beautiful new sound was Locomotive 81 over here.
Isn't that something?
They've got it under steam today, and they've got it enough back together that they've got the tender on, they've got the injectors working, they've got the pop valves working, and of course, most importantly of all, they've got the whistle on there.
Which is unique sounding.
It's a very unique and beautiful sounding locomotive. Now, it was just a few weeks ago that we were out here and randomly ran into the hydro test for number 81.
Wasn't that lucky?
This is Mark Bassett. This is he runs the whole operation out here. He's in charge of the railroad. And we also ran into our old friend John Ramash here, who was doing a lot of this boiler work. He was down from Cheyenne, Wyoming, for the hydro test. You can see 81's tender parked over there. It wasn't hooked up yet. They were just simply hydro testing the boiler. So as you can see, there's no tender on there.
No.
Well, and at this point, you can see it looks a lot more like a locomotive.
It sure does.
And with the tender hooked up, most importantly, that means that the water lines between the tender and the boiler are hooked up and the injectors are installed. So now they can inject the water from the tender directly into the boiler and maintain pressure that way. And they can shovel coal from the coal bin, and they don't have to bring the coal over here in buckets.
Right. It seems so neat to see a fire in its belly.
Oh, man, I tell you what. And there it is,
Yeah.
all set to go, almost. Well, the crew should be very, very proud of what they've done here.
No kidding.
This is one gorgeous engine, and it's been a lot of work to get it to this point. These guys, I'm sure, are very, very happy with what they've accomplished here. Well, over here on the passenger main, the other two locomotives are just about ready to leave town.
Right.
And they've got the largest passenger train that they've ever put on this railroad. Well, since the 1960s. This is the largest train that they've built up on here since it became a scenic railroad.
Wow.
And I think they've got just about every operational piece of passenger equipment here on the train.
Wow.
But with two locomotives on, I don't think they'll have any difficulty at all pulling this very, very long and heavy train up Robinson Canyon to Keystone Junction. Now, that was a movement just to get the train properly spotted at the platform here so that they can start loading passengers, which, as I say, won't include us because we're going to be chasing the train rather than riding it. Now, the double header will actually be next week's show.
Right.
Because that's a pretty long show. That took quite a while to get this train up and back. We got
no kidding.
A lot of footage of that. Once it got to Keystone, they broke it into 2 sections, and number 40 came back with these 2 cars, chair car number 5 and baggage express combine number 20. These are the only original passenger cars from the Nevada Northern still running on the railroad. This used to be the Steptoe Valley Flyer.
Wow.
And so they're going to be recreating the Steptoe Valley Flyer for the trip back down the canyon. And then again tomorrow, 40 will be taking the cars solo as the Steptoe Valley Flyer. And we will be riding this time.
Exactly.
And that will be the final run of number 40. Well, that was really neat.
Oh, wasn't that fun?
They've come so far with 81.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an engine, sort of.
Yes.
It still can't be driven around.
Not just yet, but it will get there.
But you can actually just fire it up and run the injectors. Now, when they run the injectors, it does look a little bit like a hotel in Las Vegas with the fountain running. So they've got some leaks to,
yeah.
There's some work to do.
But given all.
And we're planning to go back out there as they work on it, possibly, and check up on that. It all depends on weather and a whole bunch of things.
Exactly.
Well, next week we're going to be riding the double header.
Oh boy.
And that'll be really neat. So tune in for that because you want to see this double header. That was really neat. And if you haven't been over to the channel, pop over to the channel. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. And the way to get to the channel and subscribe is with the blue button. Are we ready for that?
Oh yeah.
Zoink! Right there, the blue button. Well, we're not sure how you found this video on the internet, and we hope you didn't find it boring. And we will see you next Sunday, well, on Tuesday as well, but next Sunday to ride the double header.
Right.
We'll see you then.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.